guys how to get clean line art in Procreate. So I have here my rough sketch, and it's of a T-Rex. So I'm going to have that on its own separate layer, and I'm going to start by turning the opacity on it all the way down to about 15%, just light enough that you can barely see it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and select my brush. Now the brush that I'm going to be using today to show you guys is the Studio Pen. It's just one of the standard brushes that comes with Procreate. And earlier I was using the fat pencil, which is a modified technical pencil. Mike Henry shows how to create it on one of his videos. So if you want to use a fat pencil, you can look that up. Here's an example of what it looked like when I was using the fat pencil. It just gives it a little bit more texture and bleed around the edges. But if maybe you want it to look really crisp and almost vector-like, then you'll want to use the Studio Pen. So that's the example I'm going to show you with. So I'm going to create a new layer on top of my underdrawing. So you can see here my underdrawing is on a separate layer, and I'm going to draw on this layer. So select your Studio Pen, and the first thing you want to notice is this slider here, the streamline slider. Okay, now what this does is if you have the streamline slider all the way down and you draw, it's going to pick up every single little bump and snag you make, or if you're trying to draw a smooth line, it'll catch every little variance. If you turn the streamline all the way up, instead it makes it so that it kind of smooths out all of your wiggles. So if I'm trying to draw a big smooth line, it'll smooth it out for me. So it's going to be personal preference where you want that slider. I usually have it about right, if I could get it to move, right about here. I feel like this gives me the most control over getting sharp corners, while also keeping my line pretty smooth. So depending on what part of your drawing you're on, if you're drawing really big sweeping lines, then you might want to turn it up more. If you're trying to do small details, you probably want to turn it down. So we have our image here, and I'm going to start with the head. So I'm going to come, let's see, right here, we'll start on this part of him. And the key is making confident strokes, okay? Making it deliberate. You don't want like this kind of stuff. Some people do this when they sketch. That's not what you want for line art. You want it to be clean and crisp. So making confident strokes. Another thing you want to pay attention to is your line weight, okay? So having a variance of line weight is good. If you have everything the exact same line weight, it's going to look like a coloring book where the line is all just one thickness all the way around. And when you're inking, you want to have some variance so it gives it more life. Okay, so for example, if I'm doing the top of this ridge that goes along his eyebrow, I'm going to leave that pretty light and thin. Okay, but then on this under edge, it's going to be a little bit darker because that part's in shadow. Another thing is that when you're inking, you really want to be pretty precise, and so it won't be too uncommon for you to redo and undo over and over again to really get the shape you want, and that's fine. It's okay to do that. When you're trying to lay out your idea and get a rough sketch, you don't want to be erasing and doing it all the time. You just want to get the basic idea down and not focus on the details too much. So as you can see with the underdrawing, the rough sketch, it's pretty loose and kind of sloppy, but that gives me more freedom when I'm inking to explore different shapes and such. Alright, so that's my tutorial on inking. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments, and let me know what other tutorials you'd like to see. Thanks.